All right, now we are in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. So, as a recap, and I actually didn't even do this in the wild card, I did finish the regular season with a 173-99 record. Now, when I did my predictions for Week 18, I said if we can get 5 or less incorrect picks, I will finish the year with less than 100 incorrect picks, which I was able to, barely, because I was at 99, so I did get 5 wrong. So, but barely is the best kind. So last week we went 4-2 to give ourselves a 177-101 record. I correctly predicted Houston beating Cleveland, which for some reason people just were all over Cleveland. And I honestly, I don't understand why. Because a couple of the things I said were going to happen happened. I said Stroud was going to make a couple more plays than Flacco. I said Flacco's going to throw 1 or 2 picks, and he threw 2 pick sixes. Like, I don't understand what the problem was. Plus, I didn't say this in the video, but their defense does not travel on the road, which is odd because defense is usually the thing that travels, which for some reason didn't travel. So, yeah, I correctly predicted Houston beating Cleveland. And then the second game was Kansas City, Miami. I got that right. It said it's just going to be too cold for Miami. Tua, when it's less than 70 degrees, has a pretty significant losing record. Now 6-14. It was 6-13. And then, let's see, Pittsburgh Buffalo, even though that was postponed, I did correctly predict that. Dallas. Well, I picked Dallas to win. I did say that was the least confident of any of my picks. I said I would not be surprised if, Green Bay could somehow upset Dallas because when you're a young playoff team, you don't know what you don't know. And that is exactly what happened. They went in there and not only upset Dallas, but completely demolished them. And I did say that if they lose, Mike McCarthy's job could be on the line. And fans wanted it, but Jerry Jones is sticking with Mike McCarthy, at least until next year. We'll see as far as what they do after that, because his contract is 1 more year. So we'll see. What else? I did think the Rams were going to beat the Lions. I knew it was going to be a close game. I did want the Lions to win because I was rooting for them. I don't like that they booed Matthew Stafford. Like, come on, guys. He gave you, 10, 11, 12 years of his career? Like, why you gotta boo him? So that I didn't like. I didn't care for that. And then Philly going to Tampa. I had no confidence in Philly whatsoever. And I predicted Tampa to win. So that gave us our 4-2 record, which I was wrong on Detroit, and I was wrong on Dallas. But for the most part, I picked the home teams, and that's what we came away with. Did I pick all the home teams? Because I picked Houston, I picked Kansas City, I picked Buffalo, I picked Dallas, I picked Tampa. I picked... Oh, no, the Rams. The Rams were the only home team I didn't pick. Or were the only away team I picked. So I almost went all home teams. And I even, going back to Green Bay and Dallas, I tweeted because there was something, one of the NFL sites, I don't know if it was the NFL themselves or like the NFL on Fox, whoever, but someone tweeted that a 7 seed had never won a wild card round since they expanded the playoffs. And I retweeted that and said, feels like this year it'll happen, but it's probably Green Bay that does it. And lo and behold. So then I retweeted what I tweeted and did the thing with Thanos, and it says they called me a madman. So I don't know. It's cool when I can kind of predict that stuff. All right, so going into the divisional round, we have Houston at Baltimore. Now, I'm picking Baltimore to win this game, but there's something I don't understand with this, is that it's like a 10-point spread on this game. And that's a little confusing to me, because did we not just watch Houston just beat handily the Cleveland Browns, a good defense, who for some reason couldn't travel on the road? But they literally, and it's 45 to, what was it, 14? And it's 2 pick sixes, so take that away. Okay, fine. That's 31 to 14. And, Flacco, let's say, I think on one of his pick sixes, they were kind of, deep in, I think they were on the Texans side of the field. So they had a good drive going. So let's say they get a touchdown on that. Okay, that's still 31 to 21. So what I don't understand is, yes, Lamar, he's going to end up winning MVP. But why is Baltimore a 10-point favorite? I understand they rested. They're at home. It's outside versus a dome team. I understand all of that. It's just 10? Had you said 6 or 7, I could definitely understand that. But 10 just seems like too much, I know these teams played week 1. I don't know if people are letting that influence their thinking here. Or maybe I'm just crazy, but I feel like 10's way too much. I'm taking Baltimore to win, but 10 feels like too much. San Francisco is hosting Green Bay. And this is the other number 1 seed. San Francisco, I think they win this game, but again, it's kind of like what I said last week when they were taking on Dallas. You don't know what you don't know. And if they go into San Francisco and win, can you imagine Green Bay, who barely got into the playoffs, is going to take down the 2 seed and the 1 seed in back-to-back weeks? That would be insane. So I'm picking San Fran, but I am here for it if Green Bay wins this game. Going to Sunday, Tampa goes to Detroit. I'm taking Detroit here. Great run by Tampa this year. They actually won a playoff game, but it was Philly who they weren't doing well towards the end. So, yeah, congratulations. You won your division. You beat a bad playoff team. And I'm picking Detroit. Kansas City at Buffalo. Buffalo had to move their game versus Pittsburgh a day after, and a few hours after, too. It went from a Sunday 1 o'clock kickoff to a Monday 4:30 kickoff. And interesting fact, since the game versus Pittsburgh, Orchard Park, where the Bills Stadium is, has gotten another 6 feet of snow. Not inches, feet. 6 feet of snow. So it's a good thing that they're definitely not building their new stadium right across the street from the old one, right? Wrong. They are building the new stadium right across the street. So you're still going to get these issues with the new stadium. Because even if you moved it just to a different part of Buffalo. You don't have to move it out of Buffalo. Just move it to a different part of Buffalo, and you might get you might get a little less snow. But whatever. So they got people shoveling again because they have to. Otherwise, you're not going to end up playing this game. And I feel bad for the people that went because... So I learned a little bit about the whole shoveling snow thing. Is that you had to register for it. They allowed a maximum of 200 people. And it's like, oh, no wonder why almost nothing got done. Like, people, when they got to the stadium for the game, the seats were still covered in snow. Like, they did not clear out the seats. So, if you had snow pants, okay, you can sit on the snow, but, like, people, like, there was a video of some Steelers fans when they got there, and it was a family, and the dad is literally trudging through the snow in front of the seats, so that way they can get to their seats that are covered in snow. So, I mean, I hope they allow more people, and, like, there's no travel ban anymore, so people can get to the stadium and help as well. But, yeah, I just think they didn't have nearly enough people to do it, which is why now you're here for the game, and it's, we're not done. Now they're already doing it. They're already clearing out snow. Within the first, a couple days out of the game. So that'll give them plenty of time to clear out the seats as well. So that was just something I learned, which is interesting. So I will be taking the Buffalo Bills here, though. And the reason for that is Patrick Mahomes has never had to play a road playoff game. So that's one. And if you want to count the Super Bowl as a road playoff game because Tampa was playing in Tampa, then, okay, in a road playoff game, quote unquote, Patrick Mahomes is 0-1. Otherwise, the Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes has been in a neutral... No, wait. No, the Rams hosted it against... No, that was the Bengals. My bad. So, every other time he's played in the Super Bowl, it's been a neutral field. But he played a Super Bowl against Tampa in Tampa and lost. So, this is like his first official road playoff game, though. And it's actually the first time he has played in Buffalo since 2020. Now, there's a difference between playing in a stadium in 2020, we all know what happened, and playing in a stadium in 2023. So when he came to Buffalo last time, there were no fans. He did not get to experience the Buffalo Bills home crowd. And now he does. There is one thing I will say, though, is that Bills fans, you got to be careful. Because on one of the plays where George Pickens beat the guy covering him, and he's in the end zone, and I think Mason overthrew him. I know it wasn't a touchdown, and I think Mason overthrew him. But someone threw a snowball at the play. So if it was a Bills fan, they threw a snowball at George Pickens trying to hit him while he was trying to make a touchdown catch. So y'all got to be careful, because if you're not, we had this issue, I think last year in when Miami came to Buffalo, and there was a lot of snow. Bills fans were throwing snowballs onto the field, and they got a warning from the refs. Hey, if you keep throwing snowballs on the field, it's going to result in a penalty for your team. So now you got a Bills fan. If it was, who knows, maybe it's a Steelers fan and he's trying to hit the Bills defender. But you got people throwing snowballs at plays as they're happening, trying to hit a certain player. Doing that is going to get you guys penalized. You can't do that versus Kansas City because, unlike Pittsburgh, Kansas City has a franchise quarterback. And he will make you pay if you give him a free 15 yards. So, no throwing snowballs. And don't throw stuff onto the field. Because doing that is only going to result in bad things. Because if you throw a snowball and you hit someone, it's going to be bad. And here's the thing. I anticipate if someone throws a snowball and hits a player, I anticipate that fan getting thrown out. Because there was a video that surfaced on social media. It was after the Eagles playoff game in Tampa. And an Eagles fan had a bucket of popcorn and he threw the popcorn at Nick Sirianni. Not literally the bucket itself, but the popcorn. And security's like, dude, you can't do that. And he's like, and they're saying whatever to him. And he's like, I'm leaving. And then someone says, no, you're not. Like, no, we're not just going to let you leave. Now we have to, and security's now going up into the stands to try to catch up with the guy. Like, so he got in some serious trouble for throwing popcorn on Nick Sirianni. Well, and I'm sure he's not going to be allowed in any NFL stadiums ever. Like, it's not just going to be Tampa. Like, no NFL stadium now. Like, you're just banned from all of them. So, I'm sure if a Bills fan throws a snowball and it hits a Chiefs player, that guy's getting kicked out and he's not going to be welcome back. So, simple, just don't throw snowballs. Don't throw things on the field, okay? Just, you can boo, you can shout at players, be like, hey, you suck, blah, 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 blah. But keep it, I don't necessarily want to say family friendly, because, like, if you swear at a player, like, you you fucking suck. Like, okay. But don't make it to where your fan base gets a bad rep. Don't go personal with it. Because there's certain things that are okay, and then there's things that are not. So, just me watching the Bills-Steelers game, couple things that I picked up on, and watching the Bills over the years, couple things I've picked up on. Throwing adult toys onto the field, not a good thing. When playing, I think it was the Patriots you guys were playing, and someone threw an adult toy on the field. So, don't do that, okay? That is it. So, if you guys did enjoy this, please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. I will see you guys next week for the conference championship games. Later.